What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on the Start This Business YouTube channel, the My Rental Car Journey mini-series. And on today's episode, I am finally going to answer all the questions on why I'm actually putting all this money into these cars after I purchase them instead of just listing them straight to the platform. So make sure you tap in, because after the intro, I'm going to give you guys a method to my madness. I'm going to see you guys on the other side. Let's get it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So I'm gonna dive right into it, because one of the main questions that I've been getting from a lot of different people have always been, why are you putting this money into these cars? Why don't you just buy the cars and just list them on the platform? Like, if your job as an entrepreneur is to try to save as much money as possible, why are you also buying these cars and putting more money into it to get them rented out? And the question is, the answer is really simple. The answer is, I'm trying to rent my cars out for long periods of time. So things that I do to these cars is I just make them more comfortable for people. I make people want to actually stay in these cars for long periods of time, not just for a couple days and can't wait to get out the car. Like, I want people to be comfortable just as if they were in one of their newer cars or their own personal car that may be a newer model. That helps me when I'm able to seek out like cheaper cars. Like, I don't have to really shop for cars that are 2020 and up or whatever, just trying to keep up with the technology, when I can simply buy an older car and just kind of, do some renovations to the interior to make it feel like it's a newer car. And that's all people care about, like, especially when they're renting your car. If they're renting your car for work purposes, because once again, my whole purpose is to reach the people that are using my car for like Uber and Lyft and Uber Eats and all that good stuff. So those are the people that I'm reaching out to. So of course, these are the people that they need to be comfortable. They're in your cars like all day, every day for a long periods of time. So the only way for me to keep these people happy are to upgrade the car in certain situations so that they can be very comfortable and obviously want to extend the car and be in this car for long periods of time. So the most important thing, there's things that I look at. Obviously, the first thing we do when we sit in any car, we're always going to look at the dash. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make sure that the dash is kind of up to par, looks good. You know how it feels. Like, if you get into a new car, like if you just bought a new car, you rent a new car, and you sit down and you look at the dash and like, oh man, that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? All touchscreen and everything is just nice. So when it comes to these older model cars, that's the first thing I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade the dash. If it doesn't have a in-dash player already, because first of all, who's using CDs now in 2022? Like, that's why when you buy most new cars or you rent new cars, they don't even come with CD players. So why am I going to have a rental car that has a CD player in it, knowing most people do not even use CDs now? All they're doing, the first thing they're doing is hooking up to their phone and straight Bluetooth and then playing whatever is streamed on their phone. So the very first thing I'm going to do is, when I look for cars, or if I'm searching for cars, if it doesn't have an in-dash player in it, I'm definitely looking to add an in-dash player. Like, that is something that I'm doing no matter what. It doesn't matter what the car looks like. I'm going to get a car. If it doesn't have, that's not going to stop me from buying a car if it doesn't have an in-dash, because again, I'm already knowing what it costs to just go ahead and add one and put one in there, which is still the same thing. So an in-dash player is definitely something that you want to make sure that you consider if you buy a car. Once again, keep all these things in mind, because when you're searching for cars, these cars don't have to come with these things if you know you can just add one and it's going to be cheaper at the end of the day. So an in-dash player with Bluetooth, make sure it's Bluetooth so anybody can just hook up their phone and get right to it. And you guys know, when you get in a rental car, if you're in somebody else's car, one of the first things you're going to do is try to hook your phone up and play whatever music you got on your phone. So that's what I'm doing with my rental cars as well. I'm making sure that capability is there for anybody who wants to do so, which most people are. I don't even know who really listens to the radio nowadays. Might be some of y'all that do, but most people don't. So again, I just want to make sure I have that situation taken care of for them. The other thing is tinting the windows. Come on, guys. Like, nobody wants to be riding around naked. And when I say riding around naked, obviously that's not literally riding around naked, but that's, when you ain't got your windows tinted, you feel like you're naked, because everybody can see into your car. Everybody sees what you have going on, what you're doing. So even if you're doing something on a slide where you're texting on your phone and you're not supposed to, because you're in one of them states where you can't text and drive at the same time, you know what I mean? Whatever. You can be, scratch, whatever you want to be doing that you don't want other people at the traffic light or just driving by to see you doing. You can't do that when you're in a car without no tint. So that's one of the things I do as well too. I'm gonna tint my windows. I mean, I know like obviously tint has other purposes, like it's supposed to keep it cooler and all these other things, but I mean, no one's really getting, I don't know anybody that's actually got their windows tinted to make their car cooler on the inside, like so you're not as hot. Like I just don't know anybody that's really doing that. Not saying nobody does, I just don't know anybody that's really doing it. It's really just to give it, first of all, your car looks a lot better when the windows are tinted. For whatever reason, a car with tinted windows will look a lot better without it. That's just plain and simple. However, for this purpose, it's obviously for my drivers. I don't want my drivers to feel like, everybody's watching them, they're in a fishbowl, whatever the case may be. So the other thing I do is get my windows tinted so they know, obviously we're gonna keep it legal. I don't want nobody getting pulled over at all while they're in my rental. So I'm gonna keep it legal. I'm gonna get them legal tint, but I'm gonna give them a little something to feel like everyone's just not staring at them, so they can still feel like they're comfortable in their own privacy. So tinted windows is the second thing I'm doing. The third thing I'm doing is obviously a backup cam. Since we're in 2022, a lot of people nowadays just cannot drive without a backup camera. It's just like, you know what I mean? People are not used to driving or backing up without a backup cam. So, with that being said, I'm doing this really for myself because I'm protecting my asset, which is my car, by putting a backup cam in there just so nobody messes it up. I mean, because again, a lot of people I'm not saying nobody, because there are people like myself that, I have a backup camera and I still look behind me when I back up. Still to this day, I still look behind me just to make sure. For whatever reason, I don't trust them cameras like that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people do. And a lot of people, like, that's the law. Like, they don't have a backup camera, man, it's gonna be trouble. So that's one of the things I'm doing as well too. I put backup cameras in all my cars, just really protecting my investment and protecting my assets to make sure that they don't get any just little minor accidents, and I can prevent any small thing from happening just in case they can't drive, because a lot of people can't. I mean, let's gonna be honest, and we don't know, like people that are renting our cars, we don't know how good of drivers they are. They got their license. Obviously everyone has their license, but not everyone that has their license is a good driver. So that's one thing I do just for kind of assistance and help me protect my asset, is I add a backup camera. And really it's those top three things that I do for every car that I buy. If it doesn't already have it, obviously the ideal situation would be to purchase a car that has those things so that you don't have to go back and add them yourself. However, I don't want people to spend so much time looking for a car that has those things when you can just look for a cheaper car that doesn't and just add those things and still come out on top, because you're not spending as much money as you would have invested into a newer car. So that's why I would say definitely make sure, if you do get an older car, if you're going the same route that I'm going, please do not try to get a car that does not have these features, because you're not going to run into the trouble or the situation where people are going to choose the newer cars over your car. Even though your car is at a cheaper route or a cheaper rate, they're still going to choose the other cars over yours. So that's why I would strongly suggest you add these three features. So now you have a car that can match with all these things. And at the same time, your rate is also cheaper because it's an older car. And that's really how you win and you get on top of the people that are buying like 2020, 2022 economy cars trying to do the same thing, because they have to. Because of how much they pay for their car, like they have to actually put it at a certain rate. We have the flexibility of buying, a car for like $7,000, $8,000, and just by adding these things to really kind of, determine the rate that we want to, because we don't have that much of an ROI to catch up to like the other people do. So that's all I want to give you guys. Just a quick little, again, it's not a long video today. I just want to make sure I give you guys the game and answer the questions, because I've gotten so many on why am I pouring this money into my cars instead of just dropping them on the platform. So I want to make sure that I make it clear for everybody to give you the method to my madness. And it does make sense. If you think about it and you get into this industry, into this game, you guys will see why it makes a lot of sense to go this route opposed to going the other routes. And again, I'm sorry, before I end it, a GPS tracker. Make sure you get a GPS tracker as well too. And that's for any car. That doesn't matter what year model your car is, because most cars aren't coming with GPS trackers. So make sure you get a GPS tracker as well too. That's going to kind of just help with your, just the fact that you renting a car and you not being so nervous and what's going on with your car. The GPS tracker, so you can always see the location. That's something I'll definitely recommend, just in case anything happens, somebody's late. You can always check the tracker and see where they're at. So if they're saying, hey, I'm 20 minutes away, you can check the tracker and see exactly where they're at. and they may not even have left their crib, and they may be an hour, but it's not something to kind of get onto them about. It just helps you in your time so that you can understand, okay, they're about this far away from the drop-off location. This is when I actually need to be there, so you're not just sitting there waiting for them forever, not knowing exactly what's going on. So yeah, definitely make sure you get that GPS tracker as well. So it's really 4 things. If your car doesn't come with an in-dash, add the in-dash, make sure it's Bluetooth capable, and if possible, make sure it's Apple Play and Google Play or Android Play, whatever it is for the Android people as well, just so they have that full functionality and they can play whatever they want on their phone. That's gonna make them really comfortable. I'm telling you guys, it's really a sleeper. Also, make sure you guys tint the windows. Again, nobody wants to be riding around here naked. We can't do that. Nobody wants to see what you got going on, so let your drivers ride in peace and in private. And number 3, the GPS tracker. Obviously get that GPS tracker added, just so you can, feel at ease when you rent your car out and everything like that. It's gonna feel a lot better knowing that your car is not across the country or it's not in a body shop somewhere getting torn to pieces, about to be resold for parts. So, and put a backup camera on there ASAP, and don't sleep on that. Like, I'm being dead serious. Like, don't sleep on not getting a backup camera. You can get one for like $20. And it's very good quality, HD, all that good stuff. So get a backup camera as well too. Don't forget that. These are the things that I want you guys to make sure that you keep in mind when you're adding things to your car. Oh, and a phone holder. Like, don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on getting a phone holder. Just one simple little phone holder that you can plot on your dash. You'll be surprised like how many people when they got into my car were like, man, I'm glad you got one of these. Talk about my phone holder, so they didn't have to worry about buying one or getting one from their old car and putting it in my car. The fact that I already had one in there just made things a lot easier for them. So that's it. Like I said, we already know. I'm just giving you guys a little little insight to help you boost your business and keep your cars rented, because at the end of the day, if you're going this economy car play, we want to make sure cars on the road. We want to make sure the people are comfortable. And I'm telling you, these are things that are very crucial to making sure that you can do so without having to spend so much money in buying a newer car. So I appreciate everybody. Once again, thank you everybody for liking, subscribing, and all the good stuff you guys been doing so far. Make sure you keep this thing going, and I'll see you on the next episode. Let's get it. Peace.